Our story continues with the mysterious killer attacks a woman and takes her into the alleyway when he is about to stab her. Landlady Mrs. My Young-suk and Mondo show up. They point the mobile phone camera into his face and the killer runs away as not to be detected. At the police station, the victim remembers the knife blade shape and draws it. The head detective, Kim Soy-young, recognizes it and believes it may be the same killer from the past whom had killed Daeun's parents. She goes to Daeun's parents' grave, promised she will protect him. Meanwhile, Daeun overhears her. She doesn't tell him about the killer since she decides to deal with this directly. Meanwhile, Judge Bitna is getting a lot of hates online because of acquitting culprits, but she doesn't care. Even she finds a backlash from her chief, whom pointing out that she can't be near a case like this again. He gets surprised by her compliance. Mondo tells Bitna about a rumor has been rumbling that Arong is actually Satan, but she doesn't believe. On her way back home, she runs into a group of bullying girls whom extort a schoolgirl called Dawai for money. Bitna beats them and finds herself back at the police station again. She figures out that Dawai is the head detective's daughter. Soyoung discovers that her daughter was on her way to Daeun's new house. She gets enraged with her because of the mysterious killer, but at the same time she doesn't want to tell Daeun about it. Her daughter rushes out crying because of her mom's angry. At night, Daeun meets up with the old lady in the basement, telling her that Bitna is a demon. She repeats her prophecy that one of them will die, pointing out that she knew Daeun's parents and they asked her for a favor to look after him, and she kept her promise till now and asks him to leave Bitna. The next morning, landlady Mrs. My Young-suk gathers the residents hiking together to foster their unity after the killer incident. Bitna refuses until she is learned that Daeun is going. She joins them. Daeun tells Bitna that he's confused about her commenting that she's cold and sometimes hot. He also opens up that Dawai isn't his blood sister, since her family adopted him after his parents' death. He feels guilty for the death of his parents and brother and blaming himself for what happened. Bitna tells him that he's never killed anyone, otherwise he would be in hell. Later he gets drunk and admits he fell in love with her from the first sight at the courtroom. Then he falls asleep. She carries him to his bed. He keeps repeating that she's good, but he needs to catch her because of these murders. However, he really doesn't want to. Bitna finds the empty can which she left it before in the murder scene in his wardrobe. Bitna gets annoyed and scoffs that humans can't be trusted. She gets outraged with Mondo because he was the responsible to get rid of the can. Arong shows up holding a huge hammer, telling her that she will maim Daeun, but Bitna orders her to leave him alone. Arong charges Mondo to watch Bitna closely and reports her if Bitna sheds even a single tear. We jump to the scene where the CEO of Kofu Foods, Wonjung, finds an injured puppy. He helps it by the side of the road whilst others snap photos. The news quickly spread how he is kind and merciful, but there is a surprise. On the other hand, there is a big working strike going on outside his company which is souring their public perception. The chairman encourages him to stamp this out quickly. Wonjung invites the strike leader Mr. Won to his big and beautiful house. Contrary to his public image, he is cold and tough. He even has a caged puppy in the corner. He insults and threatens Mr. Won. He bribes him by transferring money, but Mr. Won refuses, saying they only want better working conditions since 5 people have died in the last 3 years. Mr. Won leaves, but mysterious men capture him, taking him where the CEO starts smashing golf balls into him. Eventually, while Mr. Won runs away, unfortunately a car set hits him. It's revealed Mr. Won actually has a voice recorder and he has recorded the entire evening's events. Mr. Won's family looks for him everywhere, but they can't reach him. It turns out the Hell cleanup crew are Mr. Won's family's friends. They speak to Bitna to find him. She uses her magic mirror, checking if he's still alive or dead. At the same time, Mr. Won is found hanging in the forest, made to look like a suicide. Wonjung gives a press conference promising to cooperate fully with the investigation. The police have found a voice recorder which records all of Wonjung's golf drive assault, however he denies. Judge Bitna is assigned to this case. Meanwhile, the prosecution has 0 questions for him. Of course, it's because of Wonjung's family power. Bitna meets up with Daeun. He pleads her to examine the body, seeing whether it's really a suicide or homicide. She touches Mr. Won's forehead, seeing it is a murder. However, she tells Daeun that it was suicide. At night, Soyoung undercovers and notices the killer passes by her car. She chases him in the alleyways but he overpowers her. Meanwhile Dan and Bitna overhear a gunshot. They hurry up but they find both So-young and the killer have disappeared and the blood on the ground is the only thing left. At the preview of the next episode we see that Bitna kills Wonjung and gives him a taste of his own medicine. She painfully tortoises him. We see that Daeun tries to stop her as usual but it's obvious he fails. We still cannot figure out whether the head detective So-young is dead or not since we didn't see her body. Also Bitna discovers that the only witness on the serial killer crimes which happened from 20 years is Daeun. The events become more exciting. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date.